History is full of whispers, of events that defy explanation. Welcome to the glimmering riddle, where we explore the mysteries that seem unsolvable and search for the glimmer of truth at their heart. Our story today takes us to the humid jungles of 1946 Taiwan, where a young man vanishes on a remote path. For 37 agonizing days, a desperate search turns up nothing but his wrecked bicycle and a dead end. But when he miraculously reappears, his survival is a mystery even to himself, a mystery whose only witness is a strange, silent creature that no one ever thought to ask. Settle in as we uncover the truth behind the armored angel of Formosa. The year is 1946. The dust of the Great War has settled, but here, in a small village nestled 30 minutes from the bustle of Kaohsiung, a different kind of dust was being stirred. The island was changing hands, and the air itself felt heavy with uncertainty and whispered hopes. In the heart of this village lived 4 friends. It was Kenji, a young man with a quiet strength. He was betrothed to Mei Ling, whose laughter could coax blossoms from barren branches. Her best friend, Hannah, was the village's gentle heart. And then there was Akio, Kenji's oldest friend, a pragmatist whose feet were planted so firmly on the ground he sometimes forgot to look at the sky. But there was a 5th member of their circle, though he paid them no mind. It was Lin, Mei Ling's pet pangolin, a strange creature, a walking plankton covered in dusty brown scale. Most of the time, Lin was an aloof ornament, curled into an impenetrable ball. One bright Tuesday morning, Kenji announced he was biking to the next village. He said, "The silk merchant has the final bolt of fabric for your wedding dress, Mei Ling," he said, his smile bright. "I'll be back before sundown." He gave her a quick kiss and waved to his friends. As he pedaled off, feeling the sun on his back, a thought sparked in his mind. The old logger's path. It was overgrown and riskier, but it was a shortcut. The idea of surprising Mei Ling with an early return was too tempting to resist. He turned his bicycle off the main road and onto the forgotten tree, a secret decision known only to him. He did not return that night, nor the next day. An agonizing search began along the main path to the next village, the only route anyone knew he would take. For 2 full weeks, they searched every inch of it and found nothing. It was as if Kenji and his bicycle had vanished from the earth. Then, on the 14th day, the searcher, expanding the grid in desperation, stumbled upon a ravine far from the main road. Peering down through a thick curtain of ferns and a blank curve of the logger's path, he spotted it. Kenji's bicycle, the mangled wreck, half submerged in a fast-flowing creek. For the next 23 days, the village mounted a heroic effort in this new, terrifying location. They followed the creek downstream into a deadly gorge and upstream until the path dissolved. Day after day, they pushed into the unfamiliar jungle, their calls swallowed by the dense green labyrinth. But they found nothing. Finally, exhausted and heartbroken, they stopped. A heavy quiet settled over the village. In the chaos, they had also noticed that Mei Ling's pet, Lin, was gone, a minor loss in the face of overwhelming tragedy. On the 37th day, a farmer driving his truck on a remote road, a road far to the north, slammed on his brakes. A skeletal figure had stumbled out of the tree line. It was Kenji, clutching a small red object that glinted in the sun. It was alive, but the man they knew was gone, his memory wiped clean. For the next 6 months, Mei Ling patiently cared for him, and slowly a new love, fragile but true, began to blossom between the stranger he was and the woman she had always been. One evening, a scratching sound was heard at the door. It was Lin, the pangolin, thinner but otherwise unchanged, who ambled to its corner and curled into its familiar indifferent ball. Later that night, Mei Lin was coaxing the creature to eat. As Kanji watched, the pangolin uncurled, its long, sticky tongue darting out. And that was the trigger. Kanji's eyes widened. I remember, he whispered. They all gathered around as the story of his 37 lost days poured out of him. I took a shortcut, he began, and Akio's head snapped up. The old logger's path. I came around the blind curve too fast. A wild boar charged. The impact threw me over the embankment and clear across the creek. When I came to, my head was throbbing. I looked back at the wall I must have fallen down. It was a sheer cliff of wet rock and hanging vines. From where I was, at the bottom, the ledge of the top completely hid the trail. It was like the jungle had sealed the way behind me. There was no going back. Then I felt a nudge at my ankle. It was Lin. Its long, prehensile tail was curled tightly around something small and red. As I watched, it gently uncurled its tail and nudged the object toward my hand. It was the reflector from my bike. I didn't know what it was, but in all that green chaos, it was something solid and man-made. I picked it up. My throat was so dry it ached, but the creek water looked muddy and fast. The creature moved a few feet, then looked back at me, waiting. I had no memory, no plan, only a crushing thirst. So I followed. It led me not to the creek, but to a fissure in the rocks where a tiny, clear stream of water trickled out. It had brought me a strange gift, and then it had saved me. I knew I could trust it. So, when it later led me away from the water's edge to the base of a different, steep embankment, a sheer wall, roots and stone, I hesitated. It looked like madness to climb, but I remembered the water, and I clutched the strange red token in my hand. I trusted it. I trusted the pangolin. I began to climb. For over a month, Lin was my guide. It found clean water, dug up edible roots for me. At night it curled against me, a warm armored shield against the cold. I held onto the reflector the whole time, the strange talisman. On the last day, it led me for hours until I could hear a rumbling sound. A road. As we neared the edge of the woods, Lin nudged my hand, the one holding the reflector, the object they had given me on that first day, and pushing it upward toward the light. I held it up, and the truck stopped. Silence filled the room. Akio stared, dumbfounded. The pangolin hadn't just found Kanji. It had arrived prepared. It had salvaged the one tool that could save them, carried it to him, and at the final moment showed him how to use it. The hero of the story wasn't a brave villager. It was the quiet, scaly creature who asked for nothing. Mei Lin knelt by the pangolin, tears of gratitude streaming down her face. Kanji looked at the creature, no longer an oddity, but a savior. And in the corner, the little armored hero slept on, its secret kept, its duty done. leaving them all to wonder at the mysterious, profound loyalties of the animal world. The searchers followed the creek and found heartbreaks. Kanji simply followed the guide. It reminds us that sometimes the most profound answers are found not in where we look, but in who or what we choose to trust. The past is full of these hidden stories, each with its own light waiting to be found. Join me again as we search for the truth within another glimmering riddle.